Our gospel reading today, I think, presents one of the most comforting passages of all of Scripture. As Jesus says to us, to the little ones, he says to come. To come when life is burdensome, when life is wearisome, when life is hard. He says, come. Come, and I will give you rest. I find always, when I reflect on that, just such comfort and such strength to really recognize is there, and to recognize that call to come. He invites us to come as little ones, as little children, with a great sense of trust and a great sense of humility. Last weekend, I had the baptism of two little children in our Hispanic community. And both of them were such precious angels, as I guess all children are. But it was such a powerful example for me, as I think of these little children, of trust, of surrender. As I watched these kids and their parents interact, there was such a sense of just comfort and peace. And you could see the love that was there, but for the child. The image that the child has to rely on mom and dad for everything they need. And what an incredible reminder that is for us. In our own relationship with our God, our Heavenly Father. To have that same kind of trust, that same confidence, that same surrender to our Lord. Knowing that our God is there, knowing that our God cares for us. Remember that passage, you who are human, you who are full of sin and all that, how you give good things to your children. After all, what father would give a scorpion to a son who asks for a fish? You know how to give good things to your children. How much more will our Heavenly Father bestow the Holy Spirit and the gifts, His gifts, upon us? And so Jesus says to us to come to Him. With those burdens, with those challenges, with those crosses of life, come. This past week, Bishop Stephen did a diocesan-wide Zoom for the leaders of the diocese. He's been doing this, it was weekly and now every other week, throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's a time where he's able to not only share his own thoughts and reflections and inspiration for the leadership in our diocese, but also to do updates and kind of where we're at and where we're going. And he began this week by talking about the stress that he and all of us are feeling at this time. I know in my own life, as there's been times that I just feel that I'm really just kind of on edge. Maybe just a little snippy with people, or just not quite where I need to be in my life. I can recognize, I always sleep well, almost, so that's not a factor, but just that sense of weight, that sense of stress that I'm carrying in my own life. Part of it, undoubtedly, is the continuing pandemic and all of the impacts that that's having. Every day, for better or worse, I'm going online and just checking the counts of the numbers in our state and in our parish and partly in our county, partly to have a sense of where are we at as we look forward as a church, and so that I can be responding with the best information possible and have a sense of what's going on here in our community and in our mission parishes. But whether it's just that ever-present sense of the virus and the pandemic, and the weight that that carries, that lays on all of us. It's a challenging time. We look at the economics as a nation, but especially here in Capital County, as we're wondering, will oil come back? What state will coal be in? What about agriculture? What about all of these things that keep our economy humming along? We think of those who are without jobs right now, those just longing to work, but struggling to know what tomorrow is going to bring, struggling to know whether there will be a job to go back to and what the future will hold. Maybe right now just struggling to even pay the rent or put food on the table or keep the utilities active. We live in a life right now of uncertainty. Uncertainty of what tomorrow is going to bring. And as a nation, in recent weeks, we have watched great protests. We have watched a lot of unrest unfold in our nation. And it's challenging us not only to examine our own hearts and our own consciences, but as a nation, it challenges us to really look at how we respond with mercy and with compassion and with care to all our brothers and sisters, especially those who are hurting and struggling. All of these things are these weights that we're carrying. And maybe on top of that, there's health or family issues or just the stress of life. It is in the midst of all of this that Jesus says to us, come. Come to me. You who find life burdensome. You who are weary. You who labor. Come to me, and I will give you rest. To do that, it entails a great sense of trust and a great sense of surrender. We recognize, first off, that God is God and that we're not. We as human beings like to be in control. We like to be in charge. And on one level, I think God made us that way. With the gifts and the talents that we have to really be able to respond and to be our best selves. But we still need that humility. We still need that sense of surrender to recognize that God is God and that I'm not. With that, it entails that we also recognize then that we cannot do it alone. We carry all of these weights and all of these burdens and all of these stresses in life. And it leads us to that point that we have to admit, I can't carry this. I can't do it alone. That we need the strength, we need the grace of our God to be able to carry these weights, to be able to deal with the things of life. Again, it's all this sense of humility. It's that childlike trust, that childlike surrender. To recognize that God has our backs, that our God is with us. We gaze upon the cross. We see the suffering of Christ. We see what he has done for us. But we also see our very best self and the story of each of our lives. That whatever the cross is, there is resurrection. There is new life. There is hope. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Surrender to God. It isn't easy. I know in my own life, I try to practice surrender. I try to really have that letting it go attitude, putting it in God's hands, but every once in a while I find my fingers still just holding on, and bit by bit, reeling it back in, taking it back over all on me. And I find that I have to once again Give it to God, offer up those stresses and the crosses, and allow God, very intentionally, into my life to carry the crosses. I have to choose to come to Christ. Bishop Stephen, in his Zoom meeting the other day, mentioned a prayer. It's the novena, the surrender novena. I never heard of this before, but I did a little Google searching and found it. And so a novena is 9 consecutive days of prayer. And this is all to help us to grow in that trustful surrender to God, to allow God to carry these crosses in our lives. So each day there's a prayer and a reflection. And then it concludes with saying this prayer 10 times. Oh Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. Oh Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. That becomes that repeated prayer that as we say it 10 times over, it sinks in, it washes over us, and helps us to truly give those crosses, give those things to Christ, and allow Christ to carry them. I would encourage us as we continue to carry the weights of this time, to make sure we're praying, make sure that Christ is truly at the heart of everything that we do and everything we are. And check out this surrender novena and pray. Pray that novena to grow in a sense of surrender and trust. Lay those crosses, lay those burdens at the foot of the cross and offer them up. Allow Christ to take those, pair them with his suffering on the cross, and to know and believe, not just in the cross, but in resurrection and new life. That as we offer up these sufferings in our lives, that Christ is taking them, using them for new life. Offer them for the souls in purgatory. Offer them for your loved ones. Offer them for those who suffer from COVID-19 or who are out of work. But allow Christ to take our own suffering, our own crosses, and to bring them to life. We pray this day as Jesus calls us to come to him. Oh Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything.